Okay, so thanks everybody for coming. Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Hump Day.
So as I mentioned in the email, well, first of all, I'm glad that you all made it on, considering all the confusing emails yesterday via Hangouts and Zoom. And I'm never going to try Hangouts again because that was a disaster last week. But just so you guys know, you can use it because it's free. Today we have Heather Hakes visiting again. She's a regional branch manager of CIB funding. We haven't had you here for, it seems like a couple of months now, so I thought it would be good to bring you back and tell us about what's happening with lending right now and with COVID and all of that good stuff. What's happening?
Great. Thanks for having me, you guys. As you all know, interest rates are at probably, in my lifetime, the lowest they've ever been. Purchase business, refinance business. So out there in the industry, every company out there is at an all-time capacity. And the biggest problem is manpower. Everybody's struggling with manpower on pushing these transactions through. I think that's probably our biggest challenge. And, I'm hearing it from everyone. So it's a national amount of business. So with that said, our company, we again always put purchase transactions in front of refinance transactions just because that's the bread and butter of the industry. But again, you also have underwriters, funders, doc drawers, auditors. You have so many people in the food chain that it's overwhelmed. And with COVID, industry-wide, people are working from home. And as you all know, the challenges of working from home, making sure that things get done in a quick manner has been difficult. I will tell you, just because you can't ask that person who's your supervisor within seconds the answer. It takes a little longer than normal, which has been frustrating. But again, as Shannon and everyone can profess, our production as far as purchase transaction is off the charts. Our inventory is so low, things are just flying off. And the big thing that I've been seeing, not only do you need a pre-qual letter for an offer, you need a pre-qual letter just to physically get into a house. I've been seeing that a lot. Even proof of funds, I will tell you, in Orange County, we won't even get into a house unless the proof of funds has been sent over and the loan approval sent over. So those are a lot of challenges. So when you've got that person in your car and or not even in your car now, however you're showing them your properties, if they aren't loan approved or proof of funds or, all the checks and balances, you got a lot of people not even letting you come into the property. So that's been frustrating for the agents too, because it's just a difficult process to get that all done, and they want it immediately, and it's just not happening as quick as we have done in the past. But with that said, this is all, I'm sure Shannon can profess to this comes and goes, and when jump while you can, because it'll all slow down at some point. Again, I think rates I can't even imagine them getting much lower. We've been seeing that the banks have been holding off on bringing the rates any lower. If we get into negative rates, that's a whole different ball game. I don't think that'll happen, but I saw 2.5%, 2.25% on government loans. That's pretty darn low. But as far as the COVID goes, that's kind of an interesting fact. I've seen some open house signs, so I don't know how that's all being policed or monitored. Shannon, you could probably speak to that.
It's so irritating. It's so not allowed. And even with sometimes people will put the, by appointment only, and truly that's not how it was intended. Nobody's policing it, of course. So.
Right. One of the other things that we're seeing a lot of, you guys, is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac put out the guidelines as far as the appraisals are to be done. When you have a high-end property or an add-on property or a unique property, you do not want a drive-by appraisal, because we're seeing a lot of values come in low. And then I'll look, I don't allow the drive-bys on the purchases. I won't do it. Because if there's a value where you guys are really pushing it, that drive-by is going to kill your deal. So if you have drive-by appraisals on purchase transactions, you need to insist on an interior inspection. And if that appraiser doesn't want to do it, they can go to the next person on the list. As long as the property has been sanitized and is vacant, that appraiser can physically inspect the property. So don't accept drive-bys, because those have been deal killers out in the area right now, especially high-end homes.
Well, especially because we, with the multiple offer situations, we're going, tens of thousands of dollars higher in some cases than the list price. And even the list price right now, we're starting a little bit high because the market's so hot. So absolutely, that's a good point.
I can profess to a deal that we have going right now. The agent made an offer extremely over the listing price, signed off the appraisal, and guess what? It came in $32,000 low. And guess what? They're trying to get out of it, and that seller's like, I want the money. And it's not a good situation. So make sure that the buyer understands completely what is at stake, because now, the agent who's working on this is pretty nervous. I will tell you that. I'm like, well, he qualifies and he does have the money. So what are you guys going to do? Right. So be careful when you're offering way above asking price. Make sure you can get some comps, or make sure the buyer has that additional cash to close and they understand they're overpaying.
Right. I don't think I'm just super conservative when those things come up and you have to remove it. You still need a limit, like up to a certain, that would make me feel more comfortable if you guys are writing those and removing that appraisal.
Right. We do see a lot of offers being made, no inspections as far as termite. A lot of them aren't. I've seen some not even doing home inspections. I mean, I've seen offers so freaking naked that I'm like, wow, this is so not right for the buyer. Because at the end of the day, they want the house, but if there's a problem, they're going to call you. Yeah. So be prepared. That's been happening quite a bit too.
Right. I feel like if nothing else, the buyer can pay for their own. They need to know what they're getting into.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree. Remember, termite is always required on VA, but the veteran can pay for the repairs. He just can't pay for the inspection report. FHA and conventional, you can have termite waived. However, and just FYI, on a conventional deal I have going right now in Redlands, the house is 1902. That appraiser called out for a termite, even though there was no termite negotiated. That'll stand because the house was so severely termite ridden, you could see it with your naked eye. So even if you say, oh, we didn't ask for termite, well, if the appraiser thinks you need it, the underwriter is going to support the appraisal. So I have had that issue, and it's $7,000 worth of termite damage. So that's another thing. By waiving these things, if it's really can be seen by the naked eye, just be prepared that and appraisers, they normally don't call out for that. I even had the listing agent call the appraiser and chew him out for asking for it. But again, we the lender are protecting the buyer. So just be prepared for some things in that line of work right now. That I've been seeing a few of those things happen.
Yeah, we've had, personally, my last transaction, the deal was pushed, and we were already 45-day escrow, and we were pushed out 2 weeks because of different things. Verification of employment for the military. That was hard to get. Took us a week or longer.
Yeah, that can be very hard to get. Anybody have any specific questions or any concerns or any good news?
Well, I have a deal right now. This is why I was 5 minutes late right now. So, so the buyer's loan officer, they didn't look at the tax rate in Fontana as 2%.
Yikes.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden, and I had told this buyer realtor, I said, is he's a VA? I said, does he have a certificate of disability? And he goes, oh yeah, 100%. And I said, well, then there is property tax exemption for that. And now he calls me here 20 minutes ago and they go, oh, you know, the payment is $300 more, yada, 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 yada. And I said, it's 2%. You should have read it in the MLS.
Right.
Right? And he goes, yes, but I didn't. I said, did you remember about my the exemption for property taxes if they're 100%? He got me on with the loan officer. I had to call San Bernardino County, get all the telephone numbers so I could. He says, can you do it? I said, no, I can't.
Oh my gosh, no.
No, I cannot do it. I
Right.
said, it's the veteran that has to do this.
Correct.
I said, I've given you the phone number, the extensions, what it's
And
called.
if that tax is high, you know, that military exemption still doesn't discount some of those special assessments because
I know.
you have to perform it right. So hopefully that all works out, though. I'm sure it will. If you once
Yeah, he said it was $300 higher. I'm sure it's going to go down so
It
that
will. It will.
under that. But nothing like getting heart failure.
I always, when the veteran does have those exemptions, you can always do, I mean, for qualifying purposes, if it's not an issue, I usually have the veteran go in after the transaction closes just because they're going to need to wait till it records, but the underwriter can underwrite it with the knowledge of knowing he's going to get the exemption.
Right, and I told them right now, because the realtor says, well, he's off tomorrow. So I said, on his day off tomorrow, he is going to walk that up to the tax assessor's office. There is no stamp in the mail on this. This is a
Right.
walk-in process.
I'm wondering if they're open.
I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. Physically open. Oh. Anyways. Any other questions?
So that was my heart attack this morning. I'm having a lot of those with this.
Hopefully you don't have many more today.
No, I hope not. You know, I'm trying to get a buyer into a new home. She was there. Kirsten, read this new loan. I don't see the 16,000 that I'm getting towards, you know, this. And so I said to Hera, it's on page 4 there. Oh, okay. Like, I mean, I'm learning a lot. I'm blessed. I'm learning a lot.
I will tell you, if you have a little understanding of the way the loan process works, you're way ahead of the game, right, yeah. Shannon? I mean, it's knowledge is power, as we all say.
It is, and I'm learning. So this is really my first listing going through. So I'm crossing fingers and all that. I've been more on the buyer side, but yeah. So
I think it's super important as a buyer's. As a listing agent, it's real important for you guys to really reach out to the lender right away. Like as soon as you get that offer. I'm working with Heather over the years. I generally say, I wrote an offer for our client. Can you call the listing agent now and make them feel better? But even if I have a buyer who's coming to me and I don't know the lender, I'm going to touch base with that lender. I want to know that they're going to first answer the phone. And I just want to requalify that they've gone through the actual loan application process and that they've seen their actual documents in hand, etc.
Yeah.
And I have no problem making calls when you make offers to. I know a lot of agents in town, and if I know them or even if I don't know them, I will make a call, because with these multiple offers, you know, I'll say, hey, we're making this offer. It's a good deal. If you have any questions, call me. You know, please take the offer. You know, these people are like making. I mean, I have one guy in LA. I'm not kidding you. Under $1 million and at 900,000 in LA, 32 offers on the property yesterday. And I'm just like, and this guy's probably his 20th offer. And it's just all these all cash people getting these deals, but it's quite a learning curve right now on the price points. And
I actually have a question. It's more from James. So James called me yesterday and he was trying to buy some income property. He's a new agent in our business. And and he had made an offer and he had gone all the way up to 580 and it wasn't accepted. So, and I said, well, it is what it is. But now that it's recorded, it's sold for 368. Wow. And I said, I bet you anything they sold it to a family member. Am I correct in that assumption?
Or double-ended it, possibly.
Yeah, so I talked with James on that one yesterday, and the company did double end it. The company was a different buyer's agent. But yeah, they could, I told them also, you know, if there was tons of repairs, they could have reduced the price based on repairs. So there's a number of
pretty
different
significant.
things.
That's a significant
Huge.
reduction.
That's
Yeah.
huge, you know, because, you know,
$100 never got
James
presented.
was ready to buy and you're all in, right? So,
Huh. Oh, look at that little baby up there in the corner.
what
Any
little
other
baby?
questions, you guys, for Heather?
I do. Thanks for being here, Heather.
Thank you, you guys.
Doing a great job on a first-time buyer working on her credit. Your team is. I really appreciate it. With everything going
welcome.
on, that's a time-consuming process.
We don't let anybody leave the office or go to bed at night right now.
I get you.
That's why we look like this. But thank you very much, you guys. And if you have any questions, again, don't hesitate to call. Happy to answer, regardless if we're involved in the transaction, just so you can get an answer.
Can I ask a quick question? I'm
Sure.
getting a lot of questions from clients and family friends. This mortgage deferral on your mortgage payment, they're
Correct.
offering that 3 months, 6 months, up to a year. Does that have a negative effect on someone's credit? Does that ding it down?
Well, I will tell you, we have had a lot of people apply for refinancing who have taken the forbearance. And if you have not made your payment, it's not going to report as negative, but we are not going to refinance you because you haven't made your payment. So if you haven't made your payment, then we as lenders are looking at, okay, well, we're not going to do a refi because you have a financial hardship. But once you have reconnected with the current servicing bank and are back into making your payments, whether they defer it to the back end of the loan, whether they call it due, you know, there's a lot of things up in the air. I think they're going to do a lot of extensions on the forbearance, but you're not going to get to go out. I mean, honest to God, I've had people who have taken unemployment, forbearance, and they're trying to buy property off of their EDD down payment money. I'm like, whoa. I go, what do you think, we're not going to see that on the bank statements? I go, you took an SBA loan, you took this. I go, we're not going to give you money when you're saying you can't financially support yourself, but you're trying to buy a house with that money for down payment. I said, we're not going to do it. Nobody's going to do it. We looked at bank statements, we look at all those things. It's not going to report derogatory on your credit report as far as affecting your FICO, but we're going to see it's in a forbearance, therefore it's negative in the eyes of any type of bank. So credit score won't be affected, but you're not going to get a loan until you're out of the program.
Right.
So
So
even
how
for a
long?
buyer?
Well, for example,
Well, be a seller,
I'll give you a perfect example. I had a husband-wife. Husband lost his job. Wife self-employed, but she was still working, still making money. Husband and wife were in an escrow, and what happens is I noticed that their mortgage hadn't been reporting, and I said to the husband, you didn't go into a forbearance program, did you? Oh yeah, I did. I go, well, we got a problem. I go, because now those 90 days haven't been paid, you're not going to qualify. The good news was the wife wasn't on the loan, only he was at the time. So I had to remove him because he wasn't working anyways, so we could close the transaction. That would have killed the deal on a purchase because he opted to take the forbearance. But she was making plenty of money to support the new mortgage and the household. So what's happening is a lot of lenders to the consumer aren't really saying, well, you know, if you can afford it, don't do it. They're just offering it because remember, you're talking to people that are on a minimum wage who really don't know the program very well. They're just trying to help get people into the program and they're not explaining it very well. So if you can afford to keep going on your house payment, I encourage it. If you can't, by all means, take the program. It won't affect FICO, but it will affect you from borrowing money.
So I have a client right now that is looking to, it still owns their house and wants to buy another one, a 1-story instead of a 2-story. So, but they have been behind, but they're caught up. How long do they have to be caught up before they can realistically look into getting a loan? Were they on a
forbearance or did they literally go delinquent?
They literally went delinquent.
You need to have a 12-month mortgage history.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted it confirmed.
Yeah, unless it was catastrophic, where you can document illness or death.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
questions.
mentioned the SBA loan, Heather. Does that go onto someone's like debt to income ratio? Does that show up on their personal credit?
It does, because I actually have a restaurant owner in LA right now that did take the SBA loan. This is not the PPP loan. This is an actual loan. Anything that's a loan is going to be qualified in the qualifying ratios. He is a sole proprietor, so it was included into his qualifying ratios. If it was some other type of corporation or something, it might not have been, but he did take a $40,000 1% SBA loan for his restaurant. The payment was like $293. We did include it in the debt ratio, and so he could do his refinance.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of SBA loans that are being offered that I think a lot of people are confused by. They're not the PPP loan. It's a literal, if it says loan, not a grant, it's a loan.
Right.
So a lot of people are being offered that. A lot of real estate agents who are making money closing deals are taking unemployment. You're not going to get a loan if you're trying to refinance your house or buy other real property if you're taking unemployment. We'll see it on your bank statements, unless if you're getting it through a unemployment card. That's the only time we're not going to see it. Be surprised how many people I've seen taking it. I'm going, well, how are you taking it? You're making a shit ton of money. What's going on? Oh, it was offered to me. I'm like, oh gosh. Okay. I go, no, all right, well, there you go.
Gotcha. Any other questions for Heather? Hey, Heather, why don't you put your phone number in the chat room in case anyone has questions later.
Okay.
You know how to get there in the bottom. And thank you so much. It's always enlightening.
Uh-oh, did I disconnect?
Nope, we're here.
Oh, all right.
Thank you.
I don't see you anymore. All right, I got to figure out the chat room.
I know. We'll see you on the next Zoom.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So I'm so glad you joined us today, Michelle. Good to see you. I hope you're not driving and
I can't multitask. I could barely talk on the phone and drive. So I miss off-ramps all the time.
I do that too, actually.
It's like senior moment. So yes, I don't do that. Good morning, guys. How y'all doing? We're getting back to normal. I'm starting to see a lot of agents in the offices. So it's really nice to see everyone. And actually, I know we can't give a hug, but I'm giving you a virtual hug when I see you in the office. So I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about what we're going to start doing. I started on Monday. So what I'm going to start doing is once you open up title and you do get your preliminary title report, I am going to start to call each of you one by one as those do come through. And we're going to go over the prelim together. And then that way, early on, we know about any red flags. If there's anything that needs to be done that's outside of the box, I'm more than willing to help you. Right now, it's just really becoming busy. And I've had a few deals where the agent thought escrow was taking care of something, and again, we're just so busy. So it ended up being a big headache for the agent escrow, and it did affect the time of closing. So we want to be able to do that together early on. So once the prelim is emailed to you, I will give you a day or so to go ahead and have a chance to look at it. But we'll go ahead and I will reach out to you within 2 days of that prelim going out, and then we can go ahead and just go over it really quick together and be able to answer questions or have a game plan for anything that's showing up that could be a problem. We did have a problem again. The one problem that we did have that affected the closing was there was no mortgage on the property. So we needed to have a no mortgage affidavit signed and notarized prior to us closing. So the reason for this, a lot of folks don't understand, but when things don't make sense, the market that we just came out of a few years back, we had banks that were taking over other banks, and a lot of banks had no idea what was going on. They were taking over bulks of different loan companies. And so we had a couple instances where banks reconveyed deeds of trust in error. So it's not a get out of jail card free. There's no such thing as mortgage heaven. So when they did get to the point where they did realize what had happened, we had actually not Landwood, but we had one of the larger title companies that had closed, and the lender was not taking liability for that. So it ended up being going into the court system, and it's still going on right now. So if something does not make sense, we want to make sure that not only we're covered, because we're issuing clear title to the new purchaser, so we have everything to lose. But we want to make sure that we're not going to be in a situation that would cause hardship for the new purchaser. So any kind of strange item on the prelim that just doesn't make sense, we can go ahead and go over that together. But that did hold up our transaction. The folks were in New York City, so we needed to get that over to them, and they did actually do a DocuSign. So we were able to do that. It was just tracking them down. So I am here for you. I'm actually on my way out to Temecula right now. So I will be seeing you all shortly. But I look forward to actually learning together with going over our prelims and taking a little bit of stress away from you as the agent. So do we have any questions?
That's really a great service. I know we've been seeing some funny things on prelims, yes. And just, you know, you listing agents, and just make sure that your sellers do that statement of information. If you could bring it to your listing appointment, that would be really helpful to have that ahead of time.
Perfect.
Any
We have
questions?
on the statement of informations, we have wipes that pop up that we have no idea. So it's really important to get those in early and not the day of closing, for sure.
Yeah.
So I will see you all shortly. If anyone has questions that they don't want to bring up on the Zoom, I'm always available by phone. So I will see you soon, Shannon.
Thanks, Michelle. I'll see you soon.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. Okay, let's talk about some good news. Who has good news? I know there's a lot. I have some things written down, but who wants to share?
Adam and I had someone in my sphere who called me last week. They really wanted to buy a house, and we already are in escrow. So
Yay! And I like that agent. I called her yesterday.
she's really nice. Yeah, it's just a little house in Hemet, but you know, things move fast when they call.
There you go.
That's awesome.
I got an offer accepted.
Yay! That's like a miracle.
That's a miracle right now. Another one we didn't get accepted. There were 24 offers on. We came in at full price at $515. The high was $585, all cash, 2-week close. Crazy. Just a tract house in Marietta.
That's crazy. I mean, just a word to, you know, our newer agents in this, we've been in this market before. This is probably your first time experiencing it, but a full price offer is not going to get it right now. It's going to have to go over, and you might have to pay for some of your own reports if you want them, but that's what it's going to take at this point to get homes accepted with the buyer. What else? Good news.
After 3 months, I got short sale approval from one of mine.
Nice. Oh, I saw that come online. I wondered why it was like, I thought that's been in escrow. I forgot it was a short sale. We don't have very many short sales right now. Gay, I saw you starting to talk.
Hi, good morning. I'm getting a new listing probably coming up next week, and it's going to be in Gulf Knolls in Marietta, and it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,650 square feet with a pretty large, over 6,000 square foot lot, and it has a garage and has a sunroom in addition to the 3 bedrooms, and the price is going to be somewhere between $295 and $305. They have to do a little bit of carpeting and paint, and so we'll see.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Andrea, are you talking?
I just said nice.
Oh. Anybody else have good news they want to share?
I've got a couple new listings. One in French Valley. It's 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, private courtyard, really pretty backyard for $519,800. We did get an offer in on it the first day, and then that buyer decided that they really weren't ready to buy. So it was a little disappointing. And I've got another one on Humber Drive in Temecula at $439,800. That's getting a lot of activity. So if anybody has somebody for that one, they need to jump on it today.
Nice. And Kim, you want to talk about your listing on South General Kearney, since I have, hopefully you're seeing the MLS on your screen.
Yeah, we can see it up there. It's in a 55 plus, the only manufactured home park in Temecula. It's kind of behind Temecula Hills Golf Course. Nice little clean park. The house is 1,100 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. You know, it could use a little updating, but we're asking $90,000. There is some room in that price. The space rent is $850 a month. There's a community pool. You can kind of see to the backyard there. There's no neighbors behind, and it's pretty good size. And you've got some pretty green space back there.
So what is the MLS number? I have somebody who's looking for a mobile home.
Oh, okay.
It's SW 201-48344.
Real easy to show. It'll be vacant in about 2 weeks. She's moving up in with her daughter in Northern California. But there's a swimming pool and spa. This is the clubhouse. There's a workout room, meeting rooms. Just a nice, clean little park, real central to everything.
So if they're over 55, they can still have kids, right?
Anyone else that's going to be there has to be over 40.
Over 40,
There
okay.
may be some little exceptions. I've seen a couple of guys skateboarding around that are clearly not 40 or over 55. So they do want, you've got to have a minimum 650 FICO score and 3 times that 850 a month. So they've got to show their income of about $2,500 a month.
Yeah, okay. Thank
Really
Like
affordable way to retire in Temecula.
Oh yeah, it's the only mobile home park in Temecula for seniors. It's such a great location.
Yeah, it really is. Very nice and clean.
Any other good news you guys want to share? Any other new listings coming up or buyer needs that you can't get bought?
Just buyers in general.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on then. Let's talk about the market stats real quick. So the market stats this week for the last 7 days, we have a total as of this morning of 517 active listings in the Temecula Valley, which is just down slightly from last week. We had 12 more last week. New listings, 150 new listings on the market in the last 7 days. Pendings, we have 329 went into pending, which is 50 less than last week, probably because we don't have enough inventory. And we closed 266 listings in the last 7 days. That's up 12 from the week before. I'm going to show you guys a market update later in our meeting. I'm going to hopefully get to that. It's just really, the speaker is it's a video. The speaker is a really good speaker on the market. And so hopefully I'll show you this one time and then you can go catch him because he does it once a week. But I do want to share with you today, I tried to share it last week on how to, I want to do a little tip on VAC. Hopefully all of you are getting your bearings on how to work around in the VAC. So let me share with you what I've been playing with. Are you guys seeing my VAC screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so those of you who've had birthdays so far since we've had VAC 2.0, you've been on my birthday list and you've got the little happy birthday email from VAC. So you were my little guinea pigs, as usual. But what I wanted to share with you is, you know, the campaigns that are going out for birthday and anniversary and just the holidays in general, they just have like a picture and your email signature. They don't really have anything more in there. So I wanted to show you how to add your own text to your campaigns. So I'm going to send you guys the instructions, but I'm going to quickly walk through how to do that now. So starting in VAC from the home screen, you're going to go to the marketing tab, and then you're going to click on the drip campaign letters. And this will probably be good that I'm recording this so that you guys could pause it while I'm, if you go back and rewatch it. So from here, these are all the campaign letters, one at a time in here. And if you wanted to change something, you're just going to click on, I'm going to change the birthday one. So holiday seasonal. And then you're going to find your birthday card. This is the happy birthday wishes. You're going to select that and you're going to hit copy. So we're not going to edit, we're not going to erase the original one. So in case you mess up here, you will still have the original happy birthday. So you can't break this. But basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to rename this to either my or Shannon's happy birthday wishes. That way I know which is which in my campaign. The subject line, you're going to probably leave the same because that's the subject line of the email when your client gets it. And then you can hit edit on this template. Now, if you didn't like this birthday card, you can actually change this photo to something else. Just like Chris mentions in his training classes, just make sure that you're changing it to a photo that you have copyright, that does not have copyright on it. So beware on that. But you might, you know, if you have a picture of something that you want to put there, you can. I'm going to leave it the same. But really all I'm going to do is come down here to the email signature section, and that's automatic. I'm going to just give myself a little bit of space. I'm going to insert a data field so that my client's first name gets added there. So contact first name, comma. And I'm going to type a message, and this message needs to be generic because it's going to everybody on your birthday list if you use this campaign. Hope you have a great day, period. And then your email signature will automatically post. So once I'm done, I could just say okay and save and close. So now I've edited my birthday letter. I'm going to go and make the drip campaign for this item. So back to marketing. It's a two-step process. So back to marketing, click on drip campaign, and now I'm going to type new, this new button at the top. Here I'm going to say what type of event is this. So it's something by an event date. It's a very so in our VAC, when you enter a contact, there's two places to put dates. You can put a date for the birthday and you can put a date for the home anniversary. So this would be an event, but if you wanted a very specific date, I don't recommend that for the birthday because that will only work for one person. So it's by event. And then on the name here, again, this is the name of the campaign, Shannon's happy birthday wishes. All right. Then you're going to go down to select the letter that I want to use. And I'm going to browse for the letter. And my happy birthday wishes is right on the top. You can see the creators right here. Obviously, I've done this a couple of times. Say okay. Then you're gonna go ahead and hit save and close. And then last but not least, we're going to make a new drip campaign tag so that you know which one is yours in the campaign list. And you're gonna call it your happy birthday. Save and close. I know when Chris goes through this, he goes through it very quickly and not in this much detail. So hopefully this will help you. So now we're going to save and close. And I'm all done creating it. Now for my contacts, if I want to add this happy birthday wish, I can select all my people in here. I can click on manage campaign tags, and now I would just click Shannon's happy birthday wishes, and everybody will now get the new birthday campaign instead of the old birthday campaign, which would be in here. So just make sure whatever's clicked here is what your clients will be receiving as far as campaigns. So I have my birthday campaign, the one I really am sending out, and I have Shannon's happy birthday wishes down here. So hopefully, does that make sense for you guys?
Yeah, I have a question, Shannon. So when you have that client list, your contact list, not everybody's going to have a birthday in July. So do you have to sort it first?
No, so that's why we are doing it by event. The event is their birthday, and in their contact list, in their contact page.
So it automatically finds us, because I was wondering, I don't want somebody in November to get one in July.
Right, and it's good to just collect everybody in your contacts to have the birthday wish. Even if you don't have their birthdays in there, you might eventually go back and add those in, and you won't have to add them to the birthday campaign at that point. Just everybody in your contacts should be on the birthday and home anniversary, and hopefully you get those dates put in there eventually.
Okay.
So Shannon, if you want to do just one person at a time, like let's just say next week is one of my clients' birthday. So I would go to the contact and just do the email to that one person?
Well, when you send just a birthday wish or anything to just that one person, there's no way to write a note in there. That's the challenge. When you change the campaign letter, it's changed for your whole template. That's like a template, if you will. So it's I haven't got to a point where I can find a way to add a personalized note one at a time. So I'll get back to you on that. I don't know if there's a way yet, but from what I've seen so far, there's not.
Okay.
All right. So that's recorded for you guys. You can go back and look at that. I want to share with you this video. Stephen Thomas, he's got a bachelor degree in quantitative economics and decision science. Wow. He is on very fancy. Anyway, he has been doing market update videos on Facebook this whole time that we've been in COVID, but he has constantly been keeping track for years and years and years. I wanted to share with you his market update from last Friday. He's now only doing these market updates on Fridays. It's about 20 minutes, so I apologize, we're going to go over a little bit, but it's really interesting. I hope that after you see this, you decide to follow him, and you don't even have to follow him. You could just search him on Facebook and then look on Friday for his video. I believe it comes out about 3:30 in the afternoon. So sometimes you guys will see me watching that. So I cut him off because the first 12 minutes is him talking about all of his family. And then we'll only go for about 20 minutes. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We can't hear him though.
Oh, shoot. That's because he's not on YouTube. let me try. Well, tell me, can you hear him now?
I've said it over and over again. I don't know how else to say it. It's hot. It is spicy hot. Just off the charts, like you burned your mouth. It's so hot. Those buyers are going, oh my gosh, I can't believe how hot this is. Hand me the milk. Yes, that's how hot it is. And I'm going to give some slides for perspective. And this will give you a perspective of where we are right now today. And it beats as far as how low the inventory is. We have not seen inventory this low since May of 2013. That's a long time ago where we've experienced this level of inventory. So it's really low. There's not enough out there. And as a matter of fact, it continues to drive in the downward direction, and it's doing it early. We're supposed to do that in the fall, but partly due to the number of homes coming on the market, partly because of what's going on overall in how hot demand is right now. So this is where we are right now, and this is actually, as of yesterday, 26,275. It says down 3% in 2 weeks. So yes, it's going down. It's continuing to go down. It was down 4% the 2 weeks prior. Now it's down 3%. It's still going down. So inventory is getting less and less across the board. And that's for all of Southern California. Each market, you'll have to subscribe to the housing report to see exactly what it's doing. But last year, we were at 44,346. That's 69% more homes on the market than where we were at today. That's the purple line. Even 2017, this was a very, very hot market. And this is where we are right now, experiencing this level of inventory. Like I said, we haven't experienced this kind of low inventory since when everything started to rev on all engines in 2013. So COVID-19 is still suppressing supply. It was suppressing supply and demand. Actually, it kind of just delayed demand, but it's still suppressing supply. But let me tell you, things are changing. The number of new for sale signs in the past 4 weeks, that's the past 4 weeks compared to the 5-year average. So it is down 10%. So there's 10% fewer number of homes coming on the market. But if you've been watching this housing debrief for some time, this is changing. And here's how it's changing. So yesterday it was 10% off for the last 4 weeks. Then last week it was 13% off compared to the 4 weeks of that same time period. 3 weeks ago, it was 20% less, fewer homeowners come on the market. 8 weeks ago, it was 44% less, fewer homes coming on the market. So you can see it's gone from 44%, which is a lot fewer homes coming on the market, which was adding to the problem of not enough homes on the market, down to 10%. So what's going on right now is COVID-19 is losing its grip on the homeowners placing their homes on the market. And if you're a homeowner, there are ways around this. If you have your home in a range that's hot, and you can see it by looking at one of the reports for our county, for your county, Orange County, LA, San Bernardino, San Diego, Riverside. Pick your county, pick your city, pick your price range. You can kind of see how hot the market is. And based upon that is, you know, if you're in a hot range, which is anything that is like 45 days or less, gosh, you could still place your home on the market, have everybody come through the home on the same day. Like let's say it's Tuesday of next week, and then you have everybody come through, and then afterwards there are companies out there that will do a deep clean, do a total deep cleaning of the house, and then the homeowners can come back, and then you exercise the pitting one offer against each other and get your home sold, and you don't have to open it up to so many people. Now, you need to read my last one about why homes sit to understand what you need to do to get your home prepared to sell as quickly as possible and take advantage of how hot the market is today. So Southern California demand is just been off the charts. It's like this. There's a lot of buyers out there looking to purchase and take advantage of these low rates. COVID-19 absolutely is not suppressing demand at all anymore. As a matter of fact, if I look across, and this is where we are today, to where were we before, and this goes back to 2012 for all of Southern California. Orange County, I've been doing it since 2004, but 2012 for all of SoCal. And you could see the last time that we had it that low was August of 2012, or that high demand. Sorry, thinking inventory, but no, demand. So we have not experienced this height of demand since August of 2012, and this gives you the proper perspective of how hot it is. This was the start of this year, this was March, and then all of a sudden it dove, and then it's been rising like crazy. So you can see where we are today compared to the past, and we are pumping on all cylinders. And Southern California demand year over year, this is where we are right now, kind of off on its own. And yesterday, 21,192. That was up 4% in 2 weeks. So we kind of leveled off. I said we're probably going to continue to level off and kind of like hit a plateau, but we actually went up, and we're probably going to hit that plateau. And last year we were at 16,131. That's 24% less. That's the orange line. So the difference between last year and this year. And remember, I was even showing 2017 was a hot year, and I showed you where the inventory was compared to 2017, so far less. And then look at demand. Demand is so much more, even compared to the really hot year of 2017. So the time to sell is right now. The alarm clocks are going off. There's a reason for that. Why do I say right now is really good? Because I wonder what happened. Okay, I'm going to have to tell you exactly why. 2 reasons. Number one is we're peaking right now. This is the time to go ahead and do it. So we're starting to peak in terms of demand, and that peak is happening. That peak is happening right here. Typically, it happens between April and the middle of May, and that's where we peak. But we moved it forward because of what happened with COVID-19, and now we're peaking probably very soon. So it's right here. Probably this next report will be the peak, and then it'll start to come down. So that's where I think that we're going to hit that peak. And then after that, kids go back to school. That's where there are more distractions. Families don't like to move as much. So yes, there are fewer buyers that want to purchase. It's still going to be elevated because of how low rates are, but it is still going to be coming down. And but at the same time, the number of homes coming on the market also comes down. It's also the corollary. You might not want to purchase during this time period, but you also might not want to list your home after the kids go back to school. So that's why they kind of happen at that same rate. But what happens with demand is after kids go back to school is we start to trail down. So it's just a matter of, do we continue to go out into August a little bit? We may, but then after the kids go back to school, it's going to be down. So just understand, the water's really good. It's a really, really good time to be a seller and placing your home on the market, and that's because right now, demand is peaking. It's at its highest threshold. At the same time, we have a very, very low supply. So those two, the recipe of those two make it, the water is perfect. The waves are good, the water is warm, you don't need a wetsuit. It's not like the middle of winter where it's chilly and you need a full suit and a wetsuit. So as far as the expected market time year over year, this is where we are right now. And if I draw a line across as far as expected market time being this low, that's you place your home on the market, when are you going to go into escrow? Check this out. It's the, it is, I should say lowest. I don't know why I did that, darn it. God, I proofed everything too. Lowest, that says lowest. It's the lowest since tracking in 2012. That's the lowest level. If you see that, all the way across, we have not experienced it before. So we've been a lot higher. This was in the midst of the pandemic at the beginning when we had the lockdown, and this is how far it has come down. I do this for perspective so you can see. And this way up over here was when we had 5% interest rates. And then what happened is interest rates started to fall, and we did this. And this just goes back to 2012. It's very interesting to see what happened with this chart for Orange County when you go back further, because I went back all the way to 2004, and I've been tracking the data. The Himalayas look even larger. They're off the charts. They're up there. So pretty spectacular. So as far as the expected market time, like I said, it's the lowest since tracking in 2012. And yesterday was at 37 days, dropped 3 more days. So it was at 40 days, now we're at 37 days for all of SoCal. SoCal last year, 82 days. The difference between this year and last year, there. 2017 was that very, very hot year. You could see we're well below all of 2017 as far as expected market time for Southern California. And as far as where are we going to go from here, it's going to be this slow, methodical grind up. You can't really tell much in the marketplace. So all those buyers are saying, yes, kids go back to school, it's going to be a lot more favorable for me. There are actually fewer homes that come on the market historically. So, and I've heard lots of things about waves of homeowners coming on the market, especially once the forbearance ends, and I'm not part of that camp. I've been doing a lot of research for it. Just don't think it's going to happen. And I'll get into more of those kind of numbers momentarily for part of the reason. And then after that, we'll get into the holidays, and the expected market time rises a little bit at the very, very end of the year. Typically right around Thanksgiving and all the other holidays. So LA County, as far as the expected market time is concerned, is at 46 days, dropped 2 in the last 2 weeks. We have Orange County's at 43 days, dropped 3. Riverside County's at 31 days, dropped 2. San Bernardino, 26-day expected market time. Do you know what that means? Their inventory is lower than the last 30 days worth of pending sales. So they have more in the last 30 days worth of pending sales than they do even have inventory right now to feed that. So that is just extremely hot, sizzling hot, to the point where it's very hard to transact because you're moving so quickly. If you're representing buyers, sellers too, I mean, they fly off the market. But there are still homes that sit, which is why you need a copy of the report so that you're able to articulate to homeowners exactly why these homes are sitting. San Diego County at 34 days. They shed 4 days in the last couple weeks. So you could see, I mean, this is historically very hot markets. This is the last time we saw markets this hot was like 2013 levels. So yeah, it's really hot out there right now. But let's talk about foreclosures. I wanted to talk a little bit about foreclosures because I've been hearing a lot of people talking about it. I've been listening to talking heads talk about it. I've read lots of articles. My issue is I read these articles and they're saying things and they're not backing them up with data. There are plenty of YouTube shows that come on, videos that talk about this wave of distress. Yet when you listen to the entire thing, they give anecdotal reasons, but there's nothing to back it up. They don't have these kind of charts. Well, this isn't the chart, but because a lot of people are expecting the wave, and that's what I'm hearing. And this is Southern California distressed is where we are right now. You can see this is where we are currently right now, all the way over here. That's not many. That is about 500 total short sales and foreclosures for all of Southern California actively on the market right now. It's not a whole heck of a lot. It's just sparingly out there. You're very, very hard pressed to find something like that. This is where it was in 2012. You could see it was close to 12,000 for all of Southern California. And that's the difference between there back then and where we are today. And I know you're thinking, well, this is the calm before the storm. But I want to go a little bit further. Yesterday, we were at, why does it say that? Anyways, I don't know why I did that, because I just gave you the numbers. 500 versus 12,000. So this is where Orange County was, but I want to show you. So that snapshot of where that last slide was at in 2012, this was the same time period. And Southern California all did this. And you're wondering how come we had these dips? Because there was a lot that went into escrow when we had various things where if you are a first-time home buyer, you get like a $8,000 credit on your taxes. So free. And that's what they were, that motivated a lot of people to purchase, then they expired and they did it again, that type of thing. So that's why you get these weird bumps. But you could see this was where it looks very much like that last slide. But if you go backwards, this is 2008. That is when we had the height of short sales and foreclosures. And embedded in this is total short sales and foreclosures. This green is active short sales and this is active foreclosures. This was just Orange County, but all of Southern California and all the United States kind of mirrored this, where it was a height, then it started to come down with those different credits for first-time home buyers, and then it came up a little bit, and then it dropped after we recovered, and this was 2012, the beginning of our recovery, all the way to where we are today. So 2012 was the beginning, and then as values came up, fewer and fewer distressed homes. So I show you this because you're looking at that last slide with 12,000, and it was a lot higher because this one is at like 3,250 and this is 6,000. It's almost double that. So it was over 20,000 probably at the time for all of Southern California. I just don't have the data for all of Southern California. That goes back to 2004. But of all the active forbearances, and this is where I'm hearing it from a lot of the peanut gallery out there, where they're saying, well, there's a lot of homes in forbearance and they're going to expire, and that 6-month period is going to be coming up. And when they do that, some of them are going to come on the market, and some of them are going to be unemployed, and they're going to have a hard time selling their homes. So they're going to be a foreclosure or short sale because they have to move. However, in forbearance right now, if you read this, it's 77% have at least 20% equity. This is 59% have 30% equity or more in their home. That means that even if they are unemployed, which chances are they're not, but even if they're unemployed, then they can still tap into their equity to sell. Same thing with 20% to 30%. That's 18%, so that's 77 total. 10 to 20 is another 13%. You can still tap into your equity and sell and not be a short sell or foreclosure. So if you look at that, 0 to 10% is 9, that's equity, and then this is negative equity people. So it's 10% is vulnerable. And it takes about 6% to sell your home. So if you're looking at about 6%, 6 to 7%, you're looking at not 10%, but probably closer to 6% of everything in forbearance that is vulnerable if they lost their job. So this is the vulnerable class. It's not even going to be all of them, because some of them still will be gainfully employed on the other side of this. So there will be some, but very, very small. And you're going, how could that be? This doesn't make sense. Because we are in a market that is appreciating. We're here in the West. The appreciation is 5.5% year over year for our region. And you can do the math on various areas like San Bernardino and Riverside County. I mean, they're at 7% year over year median sales price difference. And it's pretty darn strong across the board, all of Southern California. And we have high demand and very little inventory, which is a recipe for values to continue to go up, which when you have values that are continuing to go up, this equity slide changes. We get more people that fall into these buckets over here and fewer people that fall into these buckets. So there's even fewer people that are exposed and vulnerable if they lose their job and they need to sell their home. So as far as distress is concerned, I just don't see it. But I know it's a recession. It's a recession. Shouldn't it be like the last recession? That's what so many people are saying. Just because it happened last time does not mean it happens again. Here's the thing. I don't like to call it a recession. I like to call it a pandemic. There wasn't one industry that brought this thing down. It is this overall pandemic, and we shut it down. So there was a lot of health prior to this pandemic that we're experiencing right now. So, and I'm here to.
So if anybody's, oh, you guys are still there. I couldn't see you, so I didn't know if I lost y'all, but I'm going to stop it right there. I think that he has a lot of information that's really, really valuable to you for the sake of telling your sellers and your buyers what's happening in our business right now. So check him out. His name is Stephen Thomas. He's on Facebook only. He's not on YouTube. And he runs that show every Friday at 3:30. It's really, really interesting. Hopefully you guys like that. Last but not least, I just want to talk about some updates real quick. The UpDesk schedule for next month is up. Anybody who's interested to work the UpDesk, just log into Sling and go ahead and take your shift. And we do have some changes with the VAC training. You guys probably saw that this week with much feedback from all of our markets. The request has been asked of the education team to shorten those training classes to an hour, because it is hard to, break off an hour or 3 hours of your time to go watch a training class. So they've done that, and they've moved them down to 1 hour classes for you, a little more specific for you. And Chris is still doing 30-minute one-on-one trainings for you. So you just have to send him an email and sign up. Also, Rick Barabee is going to be running the Success Series trainings next week. It will be virtual. I would imagine that we probably will see some of Dan Mumm doing some of that training. So I sent you the schedule earlier this week. Take a look. I'll send it out again too if you're interested to go to that. And then lastly, we talked last week about book club. Adrian, do you want to take that? That's your book.
Okay, so Shannon, had we set a date for sure? I mean, we're going to change it, but had we?
Might have set it for tomorrow, but we didn't set a time or a place.
Right. So I don't know how many people are going to be involved, but it turns out that Peltzer Winery is open till 8, so on Wednesdays. So if we switch it to a Wednesday, we can meet after work at Peltzer. So what do people think about that?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So then I'm thinking we switch it either to next Wednesday or tonight.
I think the only one I think is missing is Gail. You might have to text her.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't do tonight.
Okay.
Next week then.
I was figuring people would say next week because I think Jill's not done reading too.
That's right.
Okay, so when we did it after work, was it like at 5:30? Is that what we did, Shannon? Or did we do it 5:50?
You guys can start whenever. I'll get there when I get there.
Okay, so what are people thinking? 5:15 at Peltzer?
Yes.
Next Wednesday. How's that?
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Okay. It's a date.
It's a date.
Bring your masks. They have outdoor seating, right, Kim? I'm sure that's all they are. That's all they are.
Yeah. And Andrea, if you're on, you can come get some of your feeling cocky.
She's on. Okay, cool. Any other updates from anybody they want to share before we say goodbye?
Oh, it was a great meeting.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, you guys, then I guess that's it. If you need me, I'm in the office all week. Just call, text, email. We can Zoom if you want to. If you need help with VAC, I'm getting pretty good at it. So I'm happy to help you with that. So with that said, you guys have a wonderful week. And I'll see you soon.
Adam, I love the babies.
You too.
Bye, everybody.